Welcome to my Steel Fan Gives Up Facebook page on YouTube. Now, you won't be able to see this, but you probably can check it online. Here's just the audio of just a wee bit of a tribute by Jeff Johns and Kevin Feige playing tribute to Richard Donner.
Celebrate Richard Donner for any number of reasons, and to stand here with Jeff after so many years together. We have some stories.
A lot of stories.
There are any number of reasons that it's an honor, not the least of which that Dick and his wife Lauren gave me my first unpaid job in Hollywood, my first part-time job in Hollywood, my first full-time job in Hollywood, and my first producing credit. Of which it's the only reason I'm standing here. The other reason is because the films Dick made inspired me to even want to go down that track. And of course, in particular, Superman the movie is still to this day the archetype of the perfect superhero film origin story. And we watch it before we make almost any one of our films. And that's been the case for the past 17 years since I left the fold to go work for Marvel. There was a word, Dick has a very good vocabulary, and there was a word that I was never able to pronounce, but I always understood, which was verisimilitude. And he used that word while making Superman 1, and I first learned that not because it's hanging above Dick's office, which it was for many years, but because I saw him talking about it in the ABC making of Superman special when I was a kid. And it basically means be truthful, honor the source material, believe in it, take it seriously. And that is what we strive to do. And Jon Favreau, on the very first Marvel Studios production, copied that and put it above his doorway.
And the other thing that Dick did, and I'm so honored to be
Jeff Johns speaking.
Standing here with Kevin. It's just so wild and great. But the other thing that really inspired me about Superman is when I worked for Dick, I do everything. I would research hot tubs, planes, also gas his car up, which I'll talk about later, and I'd also go into this. He had this giant bathroom at Warner Brothers, and it was basically a storage room. He just threw all sorts of trash in there, and I was like this creepy guy going through his trash. And I found this Superman script that was like 300 pages, and I pulled it out and I go, Dick, what is this? And he said, oh, that's the first script from Superman that they sent me. I couldn't believe it. I read through it. Kevin and I looked at it, and they had a scene in it where Superman's looking for Lex Luthor, and he flew down. And there's a bald guy, and he turns around, and it's Telly Savalas, and he's like, who loves you, baby? And I was like, this is crazy. And Dick said, and he's told the story a lot, how the Salkinds called him and said, we're going to give you $1 million to direct this movie. But it was really, as much as Dick likes money, I think, is really more about, he said, I think you're going to give me $1 million, but then I got the script, and it was so terrible. He said, I have to save Superman. And he did, and that's why he took it, because he loved the character so much, this American icon, and he had so much passion for it. He said, I can't let this happen. And he made the greatest superhero film still ever.
There is something to be said about it being a great film. Where it's the greatest film ever, at its time, for me, yes, it was the best, because let's face it, there wasn't many to choose from. Superman got the ball rolling, and as you probably know, through the making of it, the Salkinds and whatnot came in and got another director in before Richard Donner could tell his story. The second film never turned out the way Richard Donner visualised. It was only recently until you got to see his sort of cut. Now that was Jeff Johns and Kevin Feige standing, next to each other. I'm wearing that, one of the women. Take the guys to see it for the second time. premiere seats. Couldn't get the IMAX, couldn't get the super screen. It's all because of the Mummy coming out, because all that takes big screen. So next time I'm going to take them to see Justice League in vibrating chairs or whatever, 4DX it's called over here. So anyway, Jeff Johns and Kevin Feige, they're standing together, and do you know what, it brings up that question about, you know, why can't we be like that? Why can't fans be like these two guys? And since Wonder Woman's come out, there's a lot of videos out there saying, is this the film that's going to unite Marvel and DC fans? Is this what's going to bring them all together? No, there will always be that sort of biased stuff out there. You know, I don't think it takes a good film to change those minds, but maybe in the perception of people's minds that aren't into Marvel and DC, it'll change their minds, but not fan people. No, you could have two good sets of film. Now, I wanted it, okay? I would want two sets of films from the DC and the Marvel going out and respecting each other. But that's not going to happen, because you'll always have one side saying, oh, we've got 20 films on this side, you've only got so many, and this and that. Or all our films were a massive success. Debatable. I'm not just talking about the Marvel films, I'm talking about the DC films as well. So everything's debatable. And that's why they'll not change, but it will change the normal public perception. See, when I say the non-public, I'm not talking about myself. And when I say that, I think of why, you know, because my thing just now is I want to, with my page, Man of Steel Fan Gives Hope page, I want to give out positive vibes about the future of DCU. And if you recall, at the start of the year, it was either last year or the year before that, you had Kevin Smith and Jeff Johns standing together talking about DC films and the timeline, and they've all changed. Whereas Marvel, Kevin Feige, they set a team plan. You know, they set out some movies and they'll make whatever, and they'll tell you the plan of the year. These are the films that are coming out. DC failed that last year, and if you've been following my videos, you know I'm a big Jeff Johns fan, but I'm not altogether on board with what his actual impact in the movies are, because Kevin Feige seems to be able to manage to put these films and get them in a timeline and get directors and stuff, where DC, they seem to be having certain problems. You know, it's chopping and changing, because I'm hearing you guys out there, you know, I am listening to your concerns and your worries and woes, and believe me, I'm there with you. I'm searching the internet, looking for that hope, looking for the answers for you, because we do have a change of menu. You know, goes 1 year we were going to have a Cyborg movie, we were going to have a Flash movie. Now the Flash movie's written, it's done, we just need a director. But we were going to have this timeline, and it's been changed now, and now they're talking about Justice League Dark, they're talking about Gotham City Sirens, so it's, and then there's, of course, now I believe Patty Jenkins, of course, is directing Wonder Woman 2. I watched a wee sneak peek of Collider, and you know, they should be treasuring Patty Jenkins, and I kept on feeling like I should say yes, but let's put our hats up to Zack Snyder, that also helped, that wrote the story. Okay, it's not her universe, it's Zach's. Now I may be coming over across as a Zack Snyder worshipper, and I'm not. I mean, if I was to put down one film of his, it would probably be Sucker Punch with the girls and stuff. That film just didn't work for me. But I like the Guardians of the Go and 300 and stuff. But I also like to stick up for the underdog. Also like to stick up for someone that I believe has had a hard time of it and has been trying his best. And now Kevin Feige said in that video that Richard Donner believed in being true to the characters. Now I've seen so many videos by Marvel fans about the Mandarin and how his portrayal is bad or is wrong and stuff like that. So it's and they've changed it and stuff like that. So, but he doesn't get the same flack as Zack Snyder does. But what really sort of cheered me up was when I read this article. Now this article was by, if I can remember, was it Boston Sun or something like that. It'll be featured on my Facebook at some point the next day. You can check it out for yourself. And yes, I'm going to read it. Why? Why can I not just like send a link and you can read it yourself? Or go to my page, and then you can read it. I'm reading it because, well, I like to read it, and you can see me reading it, and I know as much as you do. But I read this, and I thought it was pretty good. And so here we go again with the light in my eye. Marvel and Disney have created a sort of prenuptial motion machine, churning out intellectually spare but critical and commercially successful films based on beloved properties. But DC has done them one better, creating a morally, seriously cinematic universe devoted to thinking about an interesting question: how would humanity react to the discovery that gods walk amongst us? Wonder Woman, like Man of Steel before it tackles the question, largely from the god's view of things. Diana, Gal Gadot, a demigod raised by the Amazons on the island of Themyscira, was raised to believe that mankind was inherently good until the Loki-esque god of war, Ares, corrupted him in an effort to soar Zeus on his inferior creation. Diana, trained in the art of war for the purpose of ending Ares' wickedness, once and for all enters the fray after war comes to Paradise Island in the form of World War One and Steve Trevor, Chris Pine, and an American spy attempting to bring news of a German super poison back to the Brits. If you haven't seen Wonder Woman, probably best not let me read this unless my sexy voice is too comforting for you, and then I'm just warning, maybe spoilers ahead. There may be spoilers ahead, but while there's love and let's face the music and dance. That's late at night, I'm tired, right? And I know I should do it during the day, I just don't have the time. Right, I'd rather blind myself with this torch. Throughout, Diana is defined by her naivety, her unfamiliarity, her naivety. You know when you know a word and it just doesn't come? When she's naive, right? Naive. Her unfamiliarity with the world of man. This serves as a comedy purpose. The scenes of Diana trying on Edwin style outfits while commenting on their fitness as combat gear and trying to get through a revolving door with a sword and shield earned numerous laughs, earning goodwill from critics, leery of the supposedly too serious tone that DCEU mastermind Zack Snyder has adopted. I quite like that mastermind tone that DC mastermind Zack Snyder adopted. Quite like that. But it serves a thematic purpose as well. Diana simply does not understand this world or the people in it. She's hopelessly naive, committed to a children's fable about the nature of man. Steve Trevor helps her understand her folly, helps us see that maybe humans writ large are not prone to violence or evil because of outside forces, because of the choices they make. Wonder Woman, then, is an examination of the idea that gods may be able to save men from bullets, from bombs, but are wholly unable to save or redeem man. The broader question, of course, is whether or not man even wants to be saved. An issue considered in Snyder's Man of Steel, through much derided by those seeking a campier incarnation of Krypton's last son. Snyder's film took seriously the idea that an alien with godlike powers would have a radically destabilization effect on humanity. Pa Kent, moving portrayed by American dad Kevin Costner, understood that dangers such as revelation would present to his boy to those who would fear and try to harm him. Whether or not Clark would be good or bad was largely irrelevant to the fundamental fact that he existed, that he proved not only that man was not alone in the universe, but also he was inferior. Oh, this is good stuff. Are you not making a... I'm hoping you are understanding me and smiling with me as I read this. Probably laughing at me too. This is why the prologue of Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, a title card, informs us that we are witnessing Metropolis' introduction to the Superman, not Superman, though one may be tempted to dismiss this as little more than pseudo intellectual flippery. One would be mistaken. It's the whole point of the movie. Batman v Superman is an examination of how the most powerful men in the world would respond to their displacement at the top of the food chain. Good stuff. Bruce Wayne, Ben Affleck, is a psychotic billionaire trapped in J.J. Watt's body. Lex Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg, a psychotic billionaire trapped in Mark Zuckerberg's. One is driven by the generalized need to protect humanity, an urge created when his parents were brutally murdered in front of him. The other by a more personalized need to maintain his own place in the world, to ensure that no one can hurt him ever again. Neither man can be faulted by wanting a silver bullet to take down the alien whose appearance coincided with the destruction of Metropolis and the deaths, just popped up, the deaths of thousands, even if they were ultimately misguided. Speaking of misguided, we finally come to Suicide Squad, a cinematic train wreck. Not my words, I'm reading this, okay? Train wreck. David Ayer's film still had an interesting idea at its core. How would the government respond to the appearance of Superman? The answer, unsurprisingly, was in a way that makes things worse. Federal agent Amanda Waller, Viola Davis, hoped to counteract the superhuman threat by establishing a team of superpowered villains under her control. The effort backfires horribly when an ancient Aztec god, whom Waller thought under her control, lays waste to a major American city. It's true. An interesting idea. Cant make up the bizarrely incompetent way in which Suicide Squad unfolded, but an S-string failure, but an inches failure in its mold. It's almost more memorable than bland competence such as Ant-Man. Oh, oh, Ant-Man or Guardians of the Galaxy. Volume 2. Even if a bland competence seems to be what critics prefer. Sorry about my stopping there. Things kept on popping up and I had to close it down. So it's true that ideas can't make up for the bizarrely incompetent way in which Suicide Squad unfolded, but an interesting failure in its mould. It's almost always more memorable than bland competence such as Ant-Man or Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, even if bland competence seems to be what critics prefer. And that, I believe, that person, I can't tell you wrote it, sent on to a link. I tried to look for the writer. I'd love to shake his hand, but that says it all. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy came out, and it felt like it came and it went, and that was it. End of story. Also, Ant-Man. I mean, people are telling me that Ant-Man was good or was a successful film, loads of money, but nobody talks about it. And I'm not. When I say talking about it, it's like they've just seen a film, they've walked out, and that was it. I'm not saying they were numb. They just said, right, okay, that was a nice wee 1 hour, 30 minutes, whatever. That's fine. Right, what do you want for dinner? Well, you come out from something like Batman v Superman, Wonder Woman. I mean, I've got people that are on Facebook that keep close circle of friends and they don't let anyone in. And they're not members of groups or comics and whatnot. And it's, a girly thing, and it's all girl clubs and stuff. And they're all talking now, of course, they're all talking about Wonder Woman. But it's not something they normally talk about. Have you seen Wonder Woman? Have you seen this? And now we're getting into the debate and what did we see in Wonder Woman? And when I first seen Wonder Woman, I thought, yeah, it was good and stuff, but I didn't get the depth of the film straight away. I didn't see, it was like Batman v Superman all over again, where I came home and there were people picking things out here and there and saying, look at this ties in with what Lex said in this film, and this is what, and you get to see the film opens up and there's more in it than previously expected. So that was a good post, and I thought as soon as I read it, I wanted to share it with you. Just recently, before I made this video, my last YouTube, somebody commented on some videos to check, because the last video was about Comic Book Cast 2. I can't tell you who it was, but you'll see his name, and they asked me to check this guy out, and he made videos about certain critics. Maybe one day I'll be so noticeable that would be talking about me, but you don't need to call me out. You ask me a question or comment, I'll just answer. I'm not here to put anybody down or question things. I don't have, but no, as you say, I was talking about Comic Book Cast 2, and the guy Armin, and he's holding up Batman, the Dark Knight, and he's making some complaint about Two-Face being only in it and then getting killed off, and being something true to the character and how he believes it has to be true to the character, but then he contradicts himself and stuff. And I'm glad there's and then there's another guy this was a guy I was defending Camper to, was something like Obnoxious, is the name was, and he always wears like a headphone and he talks to somebody else on the phone, and he always makes a beef about Camper and stuff. And I just sort of text him and saying, I apologise for giving you a hard time. I'm seeing the person, and this is what YouTube is all about these days. It's about, you get really passionate about somebody's views, and because if we weren't all passionate, we wouldn't be making YouTubes. And there was another guy who actually used to work as an editor for us, DC Comic Zone or something like that. And there was videos about him. And he's got 1,000 subscribers. And it's a miracle. He posts 5 videos out a day, and he's quite aggressive on his views about Christopher Nolan fans and stuff like that. And as I say, I don't have any problems with the Christopher Nolan films. For me, as I said before in the other DC films, they made Batman popular after the last bad films. When I say bad films, I mean it wasn't really, treated well when they came out. But when Batman Begins came out, it was fantastic. I love Batman Begins. And probably until the Ben Affleck movie comes out, it'll probably be one of my favourite, it'll be my best Batman film to date. The other 2 films, The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, they were okay. For me, it just didn't feel like Batman. But that's just my opinion. I'm not asking you to think with it themselves. But yeah, I mean, this is... I was just recently messaging some of the editors for Man of Steel Fan Gives Hope, and some of the guys out there that constantly posts some good stuff about the DCU, and I was trying to get some feedback on what Jeff Johns does, and when do you think there'll be another? What we need from Warner Brothers is more stuff, more official. Let's kick up a notch. But then again, Warner Brothers doesn't need to do that. It's a studio. Who's to say? I mean, at the start of Wonder Woman, okay, you see the sort of Justice League Unlimited sort of starting with all of the cartoons of DC. Now, where that is a taste of what they've got in store for us, or is it just simple like the Marvel stuff with the comic pages turning? I would love, of course, to think that's just a wee prelude of what Warner Brothers has got planned. But us, as fans, we are insatiable. We need the news now. We need it. We need it officially stated so we can say bollocks to all the fake news that's out there and say these films are coming out. That is what we need. And believe me, I will try my best on the page and on the YouTube to try and give you that positive feedback. And thanks for everybody that actually compliments these videos. I know it's not desk and everything else. It's just me being me, talking in a dark room, ready to go to bed with my phone light. So thanks again, all my 186 subscribers. Whenever you ever get a chance to watch these videos, thank you for subscribing. It's made me feel we are not alone, and it gives me the strength to keep making them, keep making these videos, and keep carrying on with my page. And this is my hobby now. I hardly play my PlayStation anymore. I get through my planner, then it's my page, make sure the positive news is on my page, and this. So thank you very much, everybody. and you're helping me be positive. I hope I make you be positive. Good night.